Alright, how we doing, folks? It's your boy Marcos. Kicking it off here. Hope you guys having a great Sunday. I'm gonna be having a great Sunday. I'm working some baseball today, man. Not much better than that. Psych, football's better, but hey, whatever. I am working some baseball out there. And check out that gun shooting me. I'm like, come on, man. What's going on? Boo-doo-doom, boo-doo-doom. What's going on? Great Marvin Gaye song. If you don't know about Marvin Gaye, man, you gotta get on that, yo. Like Marvin Gaye, smooth, man. And actually, yeah, it is Marvin Gaye. Good, yeah. I was getting confused with Curtis Mayfield. Oh, Curtis Mayfield is doo-doo-wop is strong in here. The doo-doo-wop is strong in here. Also pretty damn good right there. And I think he had Superfly? Super Freak is James Brown. Oof, man, I gotta brush up. I gotta brush up my old school R&B right there. Anyway, hopping into Metal Gear. What I want to talk about, I'm not actually gonna talk too much over here. We're gonna talk about stuff that happens in the episode, obviously, and how I actually figured out how to use chafe grenades. There we go. My man Jay was getting pissed at me because I was using them last time. I got you, bro. I got some chafe grenades. I understand that if you chafe them, they won't kill you. Even though chafe is pretty bad. I've never really been chafed before, like your body like chafing and stuff like that. It's not like a thing I'm really too accustomed to, and thankfully God, because it's pretty painful. A lot of the runners that I remember when I used to run, they used to have it on the team, and I'm like, hey man, like I wouldn't really run like that, and I'd be like, dude, all right, tough times. But we're not gonna talk here about chafing, unless we talk about chafing cameras with electronic jamming equipment. Talk about the new Metal Gear though, man. The Metal Gear 5, the Phantom Pain, or whatever the hell it's called. Metal Gear 5, Silent Snake's Phantom Pain, Revolt, Tactical Espionage 33. I don't know what it's called. But the new one, you know, they've been like a lot of issues like that came up in the past week about how Kojima says he's trying to make the women more erotic in the game so it could be more appealing. You know, I think it's all blown out of hype. You know, it's just women have been like look at what Sniper Wolf's wearing in this game. First off, she's got green lips, which I guess that's kind of hot. I don't know. The green lips is kind of interesting. I don't really know how I feel about that, but whatever. And she's like in the middle of Alaska, and like you could like see like all the cleavage. Like if that's not erotic, I don't really know what it is. I mean, it's not gonna go over the top. I saw like one of the character models like they had for like the chicks, and whatever, she looked like a hot chick. Alright, well it's not gonna put like any ugly chicks in the game. There's not really that many ugly dudes in the game. Like Snake ain't necessarily ugly per se. I mean, I don't float that boat, but hey, whatever. You know, if you like apples, you like apples. If you like oranges, you like oranges. If you like putting oranges with your apples, then you put oranges with your apples. And I do mean bisexuality when I speak of oranges and apples, but hey, take that analogy as however you want them here. And if I look confused, it's because I am. I keep passing by that damn ladder, and I'm kind of like, man, I'm pretty sure I come up here and I fight Liquid in that damn chopper. How do I get up there? And I've walked by that ladder like 16 times, but it's ignorance, it's stupid. I ain't decided it out. Whatever, we'll have some fun with it. You don't play things perfectly. You don't remember everything. It's those little things that you don't remember, those like meaningless things that kind of don't matter at all, that you're kind of like, where is that ladder over there? And I'm kind of just hitting the walls now, and I'm like thinking, man, it's got to be somewhere around here, right? And I'm like, hold on, this thing right there? Like, come on, Marcus, turn around. Yeah! Success! If we go back to Smash Bros. But that's like one of the big gripes about it. I'm more worried about the open world aspect that they talk about. I'm a little bit more worried about the storyline and how crazy that's gonna get, because it's very wild. It's very wild in this game. It was wild in 4. I can't even imagine 5. But first, let's talk to my brother. This fool tried killing me before, yo.
So, the snake's finally come out of his hole. Are you ready now, my brother?
Why are you calling me brother? Who the hell are you?
I'm you! I'm your shadow!
What?
Ask the father that
What?
you killed!
Okay!
I'll send you to hell to meet him!
Hey, everybody griping on me on killing Big Boss. I mean, y'all ain't know what happened in Zanzibar Land. Y'all wasn't there what happened to see what happened in the mean streets of Zanzibar Land. Sometimes this gunfight, in terms of this boss fight, you just gotta make sure you hit these Stinger missiles on them. I don't really move it much. You could take cover inside. You could take cover behind like some metallic objects. I had enough. I had 4 rations, and I'm sure I was gonna probably get like 1 right after this, so I didn't really care. I died the first time just because I kept missing them. But once you get a little rhythm as to kind of where he is and like the angles of elevation of where it comes and like when he ducks down and stuff, you'll get used to it. And you also shoot the stingers even before you aim and then aim them, so it's pretty easy. It's not a tough battle. Played a little bit better than I do though. Like actually try to like not get hit all the time. I just kind of stand all the way, but whatever. Anyway, going back to the Phantom Pain. The open world aspect was very intriguing to me, and how like there's gonna be night and day and stuff. I'm really interested to see how that plays along the missions. I'm interested to see if it's gonna be more like Assassin's Creed or like Grand Theft Auto, where you could able to pick and play the missions whenever you want, like at your leisure, or if it's still gonna have like a certain structure. I mean, I could imagine that there'd be some missions, for example, that you could only do at night, maybe some that you could only do at day. That would make sense to me, but that would also kind of limit the game. So I'm not exactly sure how they play that. So that's something I'm very curious about. In the trailer, you know, they show you walking around like and the time elapsing when you're on like the horse and stuff. That's cool. Graphically amazing, jaw dropping, best thing I saw at E3 by far. Like that was just ridiculous. But the graphics aren't really why you play Metal Gear. You play for the story, you play for the crazy stuff that's gonna happen, you play for the gameplay, you play for the location. You're playing as Big Boss. Yes, you're playing as Big Boss. And I wish I'd seen the trailer right before I did this over here, because I'm pretty sure Master Miller's with you, or either you're saving Master Miller. Master Miller's somehow involved, which is gonna be pretty dope, and it's cool. It's gonna bring back. I mean, I'm sure Ocelot's somewhere in there. Ocelot might be the guy you're with at the beginning. I don't know. Either way, they're all gonna be in the friendly cast of characters. It's really cool. Most video games, when they do like prequels and stuff, they're good, but they don't really like change the story or add to the story or whatnot. Metal Gear is like the one game who like. This comes out, then 2 comes out, which is a sequel, fair enough, and then 3 comes out, and that's like going all the way back to like the 60s, whatever. Then 4 comes out, and 4 I think takes place between 3 and 2, or 3 and Metal Gear, and 5 I think is going to take place, or maybe I'm wrong, maybe 4 takes place in the future, because Snake's, oh man, oh, chronologically confused right here, ay Dios mío, I don't know, 4 is still Big Boss though. He's got the eye patch, so it's, yeah, it takes place between those, and then 5 I guess takes place before 4. Because Big Boss is still. Oh man, you know what, man? I might just write it like a comment down below and figure it out afterwards, because who knows. But anyway, either way, like even just like using an example of 3 in the original Metal Gear, the fact that they're able to do such a prologue to the complete story that adds so much to the characters involved with the story. I mean, Big Boss is just a name. He's just fictional at this point. I mean, we just heard about him a little bit. Unless you were in Japan, you never really played as the guy to begin with. You never even like fought the guy in Zanzibar land or whatnot. So it's pretty interesting in that regard how then they present you Big Boss. Obviously, you know, going back also presents a lot of stuff in the game. Like this fight couldn't take place. There wasn't high Ds back then, and there wasn't Stinger missiles. So you can't do that back then. But hey, back then, you know what you could do? You could walk around as like a scientist and kill people with like cigarette thing. It's pretty cool. So there's different stuff you do over there. I'm gonna take down my man Liquid right here, put the last couple bullets in him. I'm like, come on, buddy, just go down. And he blasts me right there so hard. Now I got a little bit nervous, but thankfully the boss fight's over. Let's see what my boy got to say.
Down! Eat this!
That's nasty right there. That's that shit I do like right there.
Come on, fly!
It's a very nice touch.
In hell, Liquid.
It's a very nice touch with the snake. Instant classic right there. And also notice how like the audio disappeared right there when it went down. That's also a point of emphasis right there.
Takes care of the cremation.
Oh, nice, cute little line right there. And guess what? We got ourselves a phone call. Let's say what up, yo.
Snake, the elevator's working.
You fixed it?
No, that's the weird thing. It just moved by itself. It's headed your way now.
Is that so? Okay.
That explosion before, what was it?
Oh, I had to take out that helicopter.
Helicopter? That's incredible, Snake.
Listen, I just want to make sure again. This is the way to get to where Metal Gear is being stored.
Yeah. The
Nice
entrance
reminder
to the
right there of
underground
what the
maintenance
mission is
base
after you
towards
completed
the back
a
of the snowfield
objective.
ahead.
Okay, find a safe place to hide out for a while. I'm going underground.
I know. You don't have to tell me.
And stay out of my way. Don't try to be a hero or anything.
Okay. Call me if you need to.
Call me, maybe. Thank God that song's not popping anymore, man. That song was like on fire last year. Everybody was singing that thing, man. Jesus, it was alright. It was a cute little catchy song, but I wouldn't really listen to it myself. But it's alright. We had to play it a lot. Remember when I was at the radio station, so it's cool. I guess it worked for the intros and whatnot. Look at that, got a ration right afterwards. There's still another one up there, man. So yeah, the effect when I recommend this if you guys do any editing or whatnot. Sometimes removing the sound just adds to like the element. And, you know, the audio like adds obviously to things. It adds texture, it adds context, it adds a whole nother layer. You know, coming down this ladder is a little bit different because we're actually able to hear step by step. But sometimes the removal of audio is just as effective. So you got this like massive explosion in front of you. You expect to just like blow up the world and be like boom, but all you hear is just nothing. And that's like eerie. That's like, wow, like what the shit just happened. So there's effects that you play with there when you're producing something, when you're editing something. You play around with it. So now I'm wondering, where the hell is this elevator? He said it was up here. Like how high up do we go? Can we get much higher tonight? Another good song right there, man. It's, oof, on fire tonight with the singing, bro. I think I should go pro or something when it comes to the singing thing. You know what I'm saying? Maybe try to get a little career out of it. You know, it might be a little bit too little, too late, but hey, you never know. You know, you got that John Legend flow. A lot of people call me John Legend. A lot of people call me Nazir Jones sometimes. A lot of oh man, sorry fellas. Well, look at it. They're just shooting. I'm like running up. I'm like, yo, how high do you go? Like, man. So I was like, they probably don't have to go that way, I imagine. And it didn't make sense to me to go that way at first because I was like, I gotta get an elevator to go downstairs. Like, where am I going? So unfortunately, I come all the way back up because I'm a moron. But eventually, I work my way down and twinkle the twine, or maybe I go to the other side. I don't remember, man. Either way, Metal Gear 5 though. So it's like kind of like my main. So how the open world is gonna interact with it. And I'm sure Kojima's gonna do a good job, man. Like if there's one guy I trust, it's him. And he's still gonna keep that element of Metal Gear. One interesting thing I remember that he said though is that he's gonna not try to make it like a movie so much, as more into like TV episodes. So that was pretty like interesting right there. Because if you look at these games, very James Bond influence to him, very GoldenEye influence to him, very not GoldenEye, but you know, the Bond film influence to him. And I think Metal Gear 3 to me really pushed that envelope like a lot. Like I mean, and Joe's like playing through it right now, and he was just like, dude, like this intro, like this intro music in the scene, and yeah, like literally, you take that intro and stuff, and you put it in a Bond movie, and it fits exactly perfectly in. So they're heavily influenced by that regard. So TV episodes, kind of like, well, what exactly does that mean? Well, I think it means shorter, for starters. I think it's gonna be shorter, a little bit quicker to play, so maybe not this long drawn episode. I think it does fit in more with like a Grand Theft Auto kind of style, where like you pick the mission, you know, maybe you have 3 or 4 missions that you could do, you figure out like what order you could do, maybe the order maybe even change a little bit the context of what goes on over there. And I'm trying to shoot these things. I got this damn FAMAS, and I'm like, dude, what the hell is this? Not shoot like these bulletproof? Like, come on, man. The Famous letting me down right here. Sure ain't like no Black Ops there. I'm like, okay, well, let me just shoot with these guys since we got ourselves this first person anyway. Might as well take advantage of it. So I think it might be a little more of those regards. It's just kind of interesting because I don't think any of the Metal Gear is done. I haven't played 4. So I'm not 100% sure on 4. But I'm pretty confident no the Metal Gear has done it. They've not necessarily been, you know, like a rail game, like you got to keep going the same process, but you kind of have to do like one thing after the other. There's some minor things you could do, like maybe you go back there and get this Claymore, maybe you go back there and get this sniper rifle, maybe you don't have to. But aside from that, there's definitely no story element, so you can just skip. It's not like, you know what, man, I don't really feel like fighting Liquid, I'm gonna fight somebody else. Like that doesn't work. So it's gonna be interesting how that affects into Metal Gear 5, and I wouldn't be surprised. And I mean, it's not too difficult when you do with these free roam games, these sandbox kind of games, and I think he used more of the term free roam rather than sandbox, but either way, you know, you get the gist of what I'm saying. It gives this aura, or this feeling of like, I can do whatever I want. And it's true, I mean, you don't have to play the game, you can do anything, but obviously you're limiting yourself, you're curtailing yourself to what you're going to have, like what kind of weapons you're going to have, how far you're going to advance the game, the storyline, and what you're going to do. But it also, when you are playing the storyline, you'll notice that sometimes you'll have 4 or 5 missions that you can have an option to. Other times you only have 1. And that's kind of how the directors, you know, aimed for that game to be produced at you. It's kind of like, listen, we'll give you some options here, but at the same time, you're gonna have to at one point make this pivotal mission and do this pivotal thing for us to continue with our story arc. So I'd expect it to be a little more than I expected to be a lot more of those kind of options. I finally got down to this elevator. I'm like, thank goodness gracious, man. In 3, you got that crazy ladder that takes a couple years, and in this game, you just have this damn elevator. And I called over here, and I'm like, hold on, I thought he said he was down here. I'm like, what, like, where is this thing? I'm gonna get on right here, and I'm gonna be very confused once again. So that thing is basically telling me that we're over the weight limit. And I'm like, what? And Snake's also like, what? So I'm not 100% sure what to do. I'm like, all right, well, can I go somewhere? Can I move? Can we, like, do anything? Nope. All right. I'm like, well, what do I got to do? I'm moving around. And I remember what happened in this part. Not spoil it. Why not? What the hell? I haven't done any spoilers anyway. But basically, there's a bunch of guys with, like, stealth camo. Otacon's going to call us here about it. And I remember this, and this is like the strange part about playing back to this game, because I remembered exactly that. I'm like, there's a bunch of dudes here. Like, I know this. That's why I call Otacon. I'm like, I know there's a bunch of dudes. I'm pretty sure he has to let me know. Let's see what he says.
I don't know why, but the elevator just started working again. If you take it all the way to the bottom of Tower B and go outside, you'll be in the snowfield. The entrance to the underground maintenance base is in the north of the snowfield.
All right, thank you. So I'm kind of like, what about all the stealth guys that are in here, bro? Like, you ain't gonna let me know about that? Like, what? You come on, man. Like, that's kind of like your job. So I see this other stairwell. I'm like, well, maybe we go down this stairwell, like a moron. And I got kind of nervous because I know at one point, like, the stairs end and you're like done. So I was like, you know what? That's probably the stairs end. I gotta take the elevator. He just said I gotta take the elevator. The elevator's gotta let me use it at one point. All right, let's go to communication tower or communication tower corridor. And let's go to the other side. I'm like, well, let's see what the hell's on the other side. I don't know. Maybe it's on the other side. So confused right here in this part regard of, and I'm kind of curious to see how it resolves. He ends up calling you though at some point and letting you know that those people are there, and that's when the elevator moves. I just don't remember when. Anyway, so in that case, he was talking a little more episodic, and I think that's kind of how he meant when it comes to DP shows, and I think it's kind of how, you know, we're gonna see games evolve. I think that the age of, I mean, you'll still have your Skyrims with like 1,000 billion hours you could play. You'll still have your MOMAs, you know, all those guys online, the World of Warcraft. Yeah, that's all, it's all gonna be there. But I'm talking about your mainstream AAA title. I think we're gonna see shorter sequences, maybe a little bit more action-packed. Not necessarily, you know, I'm not talking about like, oh, this is crazy, like I'm on a railgun for 16 minutes, but more so just deliver quicker hits, something you get in and out of quickly, because, you know, even in terms of society, man, we want everything faster, we want everything quicker, we want it just as good but just faster, we want it just as good but just quicker, we want it just as good but easier, which is kind of ludicrous to think so, especially when you're trying to develop a story arc or a narrative as long as Metal Gear is. And I think the story arc itself won't be messed up by that, and I'm calling the Colonel because I'm like, dude, what the hell we do here? And he's like talking about missiles. I'm like, oh, come on, man. Master Miller, you got anything? No response. Why? Because, well, never mind. I ain't gonna say nothing.
The entrance to the underground maintenance base is in the north of the snowfield.
Thanks, bro. I want to get this damn elevator moving. Can we get this thing moving? And I close it over there, and I'm like, I was like, well, maybe this isn't what I did last time. So I'm waiting over here on the elevator. I'm like, all right, get the phone call. This is what I'm expecting.
Snake, there's something I forgot to tell you before.
What?
There were 5 stealth camouflage prototypes in my lab.
Yeah, so?
If you take out the one I'm wearing, that leaves 4.
Hey, this isn't first grade math class.
I thought I'd get one for you, so I went back to the lab and...
Yeah?
The 4 suits were missing. Also, about the elevator that I checked out, it's really strange. It was like someone was intentionally holding it.
When you were riding on it, did the weight limit warning go off?
That's another thing that bothered me about it. The warning went off, and I know I couldn't be over the limit.
How much do you weigh?
About 135. But that elevator had a weight limit of 650 pounds.
It would take at least 5 people to go over that limit.
Look out, Snake! The guys who stole my stealth prototypes are in there with you.
Dun dun dun. I love how they zoom in on the face a little bit creepy, a little bit strange right there. And of course it's too late. I mean, if you anyway, they're gonna hear you. Like we always talk about, like if they hear you on the codec and whether you don't hear you. Well, shit. If you're talking in an elevator about the guys that are in the elevator with you, I hope that they damn hear you. So those are kind of my main gripes on 35. That's not even gripes. It's just, you know, I'm curious to see how it's gonna play out. I have full faith in Kojima, and he's gonna be able to pull out the game. If he can't do it right, then nobody's gonna be able to do it right. But nonetheless, it's interesting. Every time you hear change, people start worrying about change. People start worrying about whether it's going to be good change, bad change. People always want change. Like, we want innovation. And then when you get it, you're like, you know what? Innovation kind of sucked. We want the old thing. It's like those new Super Mario Brothers games. Like, people are like, yeah, this is great. It's side scrollers. It's the same shit though. Like, this is the same stuff. We want something new. Yet those games sell like cake, and I don't blame them because they're fun as hell. Listen, if you got something that works, keep it going. If you don't, well, then you might want to mix it up. And hey, you want to mix it up every once in a while and spruce some things in there? Yeah, of course you always want to do. But not necessarily at the stake where you're going to do it. I don't think Kojima's going to let Metal Gear become a joke just to appeal a little bit more to the masses. I don't think he's that kind of direct. I think that's why he's able to pull off these kind of games and this kind of effort. Because he really kind of doesn't care. So he'll like listen to the public, obviously. He'll see what you like, what they don't like, and then he'll work it in whatever way he wants. And he's gonna do his own homage. He's gonna do his own Easter eggs. I mean, he was doing Easter eggs before Easter eggs with Easter eggs. You know, he was doing Easter eggs before the bunny came out. Easter eggs before April. You know what I'm saying? Shout outs to my man Easter. Shout outs to my boy the Easter Bunny. And shout outs to my boy Jesus Christ, who I mentioned yesterday is like a brother to me. I keep Jesus real. We keep it together. We keep it close, and we're gonna digress, talk about religion over there. And I'm like, hey, we got some bullets. We got a little something. I'm like, how do I get out of here though? Like, where will the exit be found around this place? And once again, it was another classic case of I probably just walked right by the exit without even noticing. So I'm kind of hugging the walls over here and hoping there's an exit. I'm like, there it is. So coming up next episode, we're already wrapping up over here, man. Let me jot down what you guys thought about Metal Gear 5. A little bit we saw, you know, obviously we don't know too much about it. But you know, even with the fact that it was one of the female erotic characters, and just a little bit they talked about the sandbox elements, the TV elements, those stuff that kind of been confirmed of how he used to approach the game. So jot down, you know, what you guys think about that, how you guys feel about that. I think it's gonna be good, man. I have no qualms about it. And next episode, man, we're gonna take down my girl Sniper Wolf. Oh man, she's a fun boss. I really enjoy the sniper boss battle. I just sniping, man. Sniping's fun. I don't really do it too much in Call of Duty, but in other games, I try to get my sniper on as much as I can. So it's cool. It's impressive. Hope you guys enjoy your Sunday, and check this bad boy out.